Welcome to OZTV. Here we talk about everything that you need to know. We talk about family, we talk about relationships, we talk about children, homes. We talk about virtually everything. So I want you to subscribe, like, comment, click on the notification bell for more videos coming up, and watch out for a new show coming up called Spit It All. Thank you. Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And I'm your host, Osioma Anajibu, and welcome to another segment of Spit It All on TV. Today we're going to be talking about single moms and loneliness. And with me in the house today, we have our counselor, Joy Gasilva. You're welcome. Thank you. And also in the house, we have Ugo Chika. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to be starting today with a question. How does one become a single mom?
That's a good question. A person becomes a single mom when they find themselves raising a child on their own, oftentimes without the support of whoever their partner might have been, or in a situation where they are unmarried and raising kids on their own. It's interesting because women are the people that kind of bear the proof of having had sexual relations between a man and a woman. So by virtue of that, really any woman can end up being a single mom.
Sure.
In that situation.
Okay. So, why is it that people look like they're always looking more beautiful when they're being separated from their spouse, or maybe they're doing things on their own, fending for themselves, being that single mom? Do you understand? Sometimes they look more radiant, they look more beautiful. Why is that?
In as much as they have responsibilities of the kids, you find out that most of the time that pressure from maybe the partner.
Okay.
I want to put it in a way that everybody will understand. Happiness and joy comes from the inside.
Yes.
If you're with a man that is very abusive, doesn't pay attention to you, doesn't take care of you, and you got separated from him, you focus on yourself now.
True.
What you need to do is you now look for things, that passion in you, those things that make you happy that you've not been getting all this while. You find out that that woman begin to explore those things, and inside of her, those pressure, those pain, somehow she tend to ease it a little and allow herself to flow. So you see that the inner beauty comes out from that woman, because you know that you're no longer under pressure. You take care of yourself now. Pay attention more to yourself and the things that makes you happy. Also, for the ones like she described, there are ones that on their own, they are on their own, they've not been married and all that. You find that they always look good because they tend not to be under any kind of pressure at all. So you find out that there are things that inside of you, they just coming from the outside, like nobody beats me anymore, nobody puts me under a spot, nobody detects maybe that I should do it this way, I shouldn't do it that way. Everything about you begins to radiate around you, and then peace of mind comes. Most of the time people don't even eat, but you see that they act with. Why? Because they have peace in their heart.
Yeah.
They are now they are at peace with themselves. There are some decisions that someone will not have to, you don't have to consider. Everything surrounds having a kind of peace of mind, and inner joy and happiness comes.
Okay. So being a single mom, does that mean you have freedom, so to speak? When you're not in the house with any man, does that give one that's a single mom? And do you think it gives any single mom like that sense of freedom to be able to do things, run businesses the way they do, chase their careers the way they want to, do a lot of things the way they really want to. You
is when a person, so being a single mom, in my mind, is different things. So you can be a single mother and be in a relationship. You can be a single mom and you were previously married and you are now divorced or separated. You could be a single mom that was married and you now find yourself a widow. You could be a single mom that, decided that you were ready to have children and decided to have children on your own. There's many things that make women a single mom. And the difference between a single mom, to some degree, is not necessarily freedom but independence. There's a difference in words, because when you say freedom, it kind of makes it look like she's free to run the streets, she's free to forget herself. It's not that, she's just more independent. And by virtue of independence, it's an ability to make decisions for yourself versus having to consult another party. You know what I mean? So when one is in a relationship or is married, you find yourself having to come in agreement with your husband. Oh, no, honey, don't get a job, or no, you cannot open that shop, or whatever. But a single mom has to make ends meet for herself and her children. So she has to find what she would be doing. So because of that, you find that oftentimes they're moving and shaking a little bit more. They have a certain drive, they have a certain mindset to accomplish things because their responsibility is a little bit different. Not that the responsibility is different, but the assistance in that responsibility might be a little bit different. So I think that's independent.
I want to come into what she said. I'm going to use the two words, but it's in two different ways. When she was talking, this came to me. Freedom, yes. Freedom to chase your dreams. Freedom to accomplish your vision. Freedom to go back to that particular passion you have and chase it and achieve it. Several men will not want to, they want to play under the carpet. They don't want you to go all out for that thing you believe in, that thing you want. They want you to consider them first. Now, that woman at that point goes all out to say, let me achieve this, let me go back to school, let me do my master's, let me chase this business, let me do all this and that and that and that. Freedom on the other way, no. People in quote sees freedom as she now becomes a prostitute. Now carries her private parts on the hand, and then anywhere they go to, they drop it, and then every man sees her. No, that is not. She's not a cheerful giver. So on the other way, freedom in that aspect, no. But freedom in achieving things. Yes.
To better the family.
To better the family, to better her children's life, to get her sanity back, to accomplish those dreams that she have always dreamt of, even while she was single, before getting attached to someone and becoming someone's wife, and then all of them going together and all that, So in that aspect, the two, I would say yes, freedom in this, but in this other aspect, not single moms are not prostitutes. Everybody should understand they are not. They are women that have integrity. They are women that can stand their ground at all times. In fact, single moms are tough when it comes to you playing with their intelligence or making them fall for things that makes no meaning to them.
Because that's the way people see single women. They see them as being
at that time they become single women. Their antenna becomes sharp and attentive. They now know what they want. They chase the dream of what they want. Accomplishment. Why? Because all eyes are on them. At that time, especially for the ones that have been married and no longer married. Everybody will now want to say, okay, you're no longer here. Well, let's see. You understand? So they are not what society called them. They are what they want to achieve and make out of life. That's what it is.
Okay. But why is it that a lot of people, men in this part of the world, they tend to see women, all mothers that are raising children alone. They either call them baby mamas or single mom. They use some derogatory, languages for them. They tend to put them down, making them look like they are less of a woman compared to those people that are, married. Why is that?
Well, I mean, picture. Sometimes it's just a judgment. People are just very judgmental of other people and their circumstances without quite knowing them or knowing their situation. Again, to me, it doesn't really matter how someone became a single mother. You know what I mean? There's many girls that were engaged to be married.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or they were in a relationship that was leading towards marriage. And if you're going to marry this person and we're going to be together and we talked about it and that was the plan and I get pregnant, well, what is the plan? Are we supposed to be aborting it?
Raped.
Some people are raped. There's so many different things that happen. Some people have been married and after 5, 10, 15, even 20 years, you find yourself no longer married for the hundreds of reasons why people, fall out of their relationships. And some single mothers they were married and then their husband passed away.
Yeah.
And they're choosing not to call themselves widows, maybe because they became widows, very young. You find that a lot of younger women are not necessarily calling themselves widows and so on because they're 26, 27, 28 years old. They're kind of young for that title.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And they might have aspirations to be married. I think baby mama, first of all, it's not a term that we use. It's not a Nigerian term. You know what I mean? It's a foreign term and it's derogatory. It's supposed to be an insult to say my baby mama or my baby daddy. It's not supposed to be a respectful term. You know what I mean? That's not what you say. You're the mother of somebody's child. Which you are.
Yes.
Actually, I prefer the term, I'm the mother of my children or, whatever, versus saying that somebody is a single mom. I don't think it's necessary to
Use that term.
baby mama. I don't think it's an appropriate term. But people say it to be insulting, to put people down, to make them feel inferior or insignificant or like they're irresponsible. That somebody is a single mom is not that the person was irresponsible. In fact, the person was responsible enough to proceed
Yeah.
the child.
Keep the child.
Yeah, I mean, if whatever you want to say, it's interesting with, is abortion the right thing that people should be doing? Some people choose not to take that option and choose to just go ahead and have a child. Those kids oftentimes end up growing up to be serious blessings in the life of the person that made this decision. So, it's just a derogatory term that I don't think should be used to describe a woman for having children.
What do you think about single moms? Do you think they are the best kind of mom to raise a kid, knowing what the challenges they've been through, being the one to be responsible for the well-being of that child, knowing where the child will be, she wants the child to be in the future. Do you think a single mom is like a good mother figure to any child?
So, first of all, I think ideal world and ideal situation is best for a man and a woman to raise their children together. That is the ideal situation. However, the reality sometimes is that when people break up, people are not living together, it's difficult to have an equal influence in children's lives. I do think that the goals of a single mom are the exact same goals of a mom who is not single. We want to raise our children to be great. We want our children to have everything that they need in life to prosper. We want our children to be safe. We want our children to be cared for. And just like any woman, married or not, women go out of their way to make that happen. So the same way a woman that is married and living with her husband might make some serious sacrifices to ensure that her children have the best things or has the best life and the best opportunities. It's the same way that, a single mom would make the same sacrifices. It doesn't change, So there's no best and there's no worst. It boils down, I think, to the person that is mothering. There are some people that are married, husbands are in the house, and they're horrible mothers. You know what I mean? It boils down to the woman that is parenting the child. And it boils down to that drive and determination,
A lot of people always believe that the single mom is not able to train or bring up a child because the father figure is not on the ground. That the child will be missing the direction of the father. As such, the child will not be given the 100% upbringing.
Let me tell you something. There are people that are married, their husband and their wife, they live together with their children, but they are absentee fathers.
Very true, that's true.
There are absentee fathers.
Hmm.
If you're a father that the children sees you only when they wake up in the morning, you're an absentee
Or
father.
on the weekends because they leave in the morning and come back at night.
Or they see you weekends, you don't stay throughout the week with them. The only time they see you, you're an absentee. You're not playing your role as a father. It still boils down that the woman is the only one that sits down to take care of, that knows all the affairs of the children. The thing is not whether you're a single mom and it's only society and culture that separated it, categorized it, that there must be the presence, and when the father now shouts, stop. There are people that husband and wife raising their children together, yet the children do not listen to their father.
It's true.
Despite that he lives with them in the house.
True.
There are no best way to raise a child. You do your part, leave the rest for God. That's the truth. So you cannot say this is best. This is not best. But on the other hand, I love to answer my question two ways. If you leave me, do you know that a single mom that had an abusive husband, a drunk husband, before she separated from the man, would not want that life
For her kids.
to play in the life of the children? She will do everything humanly possible to see a brand new set of boys. You will see when she's shouting, or when she gets up to beat them, or if you see her roar, the moment she sees a trace of it in those children, you will see that she even puts fear in those children more to where their father is around. That's the truth. In as much as we don't have any best will, but you see, every woman will want to see any negative side of their father in their child.
Even the ones in marriages, even the ones where the husband and the wife
Living together.
If you see a bad trait of your spouse in your child, you try to get rid of that trait.
Immediately, you wouldn't want it to play. You wouldn't want that thing to come into the light. The women are protective of their children, because they look forward to see when this child will grow, and everybody will say, what they will be, and you say your mother raised you well.
Yes.
Your parents, they tried and all that. The credit goes most of the time. The first question they will ask is, who is your father? Is it not?
Yes.
Good. But the truth remains, the woman is the one that played the role that made people to ask you, who is your father? Character, the way, your attitude, when you see people, towards people, the way you were able to carry yourself, put through challenges of life and all that. Finally, do you know that in a house, if a child is challenged, the first person the child goes is the mom.
Yes, that's true.
Most cases, they find it difficult to go to their father, to tell their father, Daddy, a man did this, or a woman did this, I'm seeing my period, I'm doing, it's always, mommy, there is no rest in the house, mommy, there is no this, mommy, there is no that, mommy, there is, so they are always attached to the mom. It's the mom now that in turn will now go to their father and say, these children needs this. Most families in both fear their father and is attached to their mom. So there is no best way of parenting. You just do your bit that you can be able to do.
Whatever it is that you have to do.
To do and then.
Okay, at what point do you think single moms become lonely? What point? Because looking at all the situations, I'm assuming if the lady is left maybe because of situations and all those separation, maybe rape. In most cases when a child is raped and their parents maybe can't condone such acts, they tend to tell her to leave or go take care of the child. At that moment the woman is like trying to fend or take care of the child, focus on how we can manage the situation that she's been faced with. But at what time do they